Hi everyone, this is Miss Edwards here today to talk about atmospheric perspective, creating a landscape, and the art element of space. So on my paper, I've already labeled for you, you don't have to do this yourself, but I've labeled it top as farthest point and bottom as closest point. And that's because with atmospheric perspective, the top of the paper is going to be the farthest away object or thing or place. And the bottom of the paper is going to be the closest point on the paper, whether it be an object or the ground. So when we're drawing a landscape, we can do so easily by just drawing bands across our paper. And if you want, you can even start with just layers like this, where you're just drawing layers across your page. And then you can go back in and make those layers differ from each other. So with my landscape, I'm going to go for a desert scene, and with that desert scene, I think I'm going to have mountains at the back part of my landscape. So my closest stuff won't be mountains, but my farther away land will be mountains. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to draw some irregular ground going across. Maybe some spots go up and down just like they would in a real Southwest desert scene. And I'm kind of making it up, but I know exactly what I'm looking for. So I have 3 layers of just ground, and now I'm gonna go for the things that are gonna be farther away. So this is my foreground, and I'll label it foreground. And then I have my middle ground, which is going to be where my mountains start. So there's my middle ground, and I'm gonna start putting in some more mountainous forms in my drawing. So I don't want my mountains to look exactly the same, because if that was the case, then it wouldn't look real. Mountains are very irregular, so you want to make sure that your mountains are irregular too if you decide to do mountains. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I can make my background the sky. So my background is going to be the sky. So my foreground is up front, my middle ground is in the middle, and my background is at the top, which is the farthest point. So I can make a sun, maybe the sun setting in mine. And I've got big sun rays to show how the sun is setting. So if I were to label these layers, which you're gonna have to label your sketches, this would be layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, and then my sky would be layer 6. So I have 6 layers, just like you're gonna have on your landscape. Now, if I wanted my landscape to be more interesting, then I would add things like objects, which for this project, you do have to add at least 1 object. So for mine, I'm gonna add cactuses, and I'm gonna probably put them in the foreground, because if they were in the middle ground or the background, they would be this big, you wouldn't be able to see them. So I'm gonna just start by making basic oval shapes. Kind of looks like a mouse. But I'm gonna add to those to make my cactuses. And a way that I'm gonna show space is that I'm gonna overlap some of these. So say for instance, I want a different kind of cactus, then I would draw that cactus going behind another cactus, and I can draw another one right here. So it looks like there's cactuses everywhere. Then if I wanted to show even more space and I wanted my cactuses to look like they're going away in the distance, I would draw a smaller cactus on the next layer, just so it looks like it's going farther away. And if I wanted an even tinier cactus, then I could draw that, but it's really hard to go back from there. So I have my foreground with my cactuses in the foreground, I have my middle ground with my cactus in the middle ground, and then I have my background where I've got the sun. So the farthest thing away is going to be the highest thing on the paper. So when you're making your sketches, you're going to be making 4 different thumbnail sketches. So you can choose what kind of landscape you want to do. I have examples of 4 different kinds of landscapes, one of which is a cityscape. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different options that I've chosen for myself. And in my first one, I have cactus going off the page to show even more space. Same with these trees. I've actually included a tree as one of the layers. So when I look at it and I count my layers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers on each landscape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means you need 6 layers on your landscape. Since you need an object, your object can be either a plant, such as a tree or a cactus, or an object like a house, or you can even do an animal, and I drew a little funny cat in the bottom of my last landscape, just to give it some interest and to make it look like there's a lot of space in my picture. And that's how we're going to be drawing our landscapes. Thanks, bye.